Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of hermits and crafting. And we are back out of retirement as we heard the calls from the fellow hermits in need of Corp services once again in the shopping area. So we are back, and hopefully we'll service their needs. And of course, all of our competition, they weren't succeeding without us. So we are back to help them in that and all sorts of wonderful other projects here on the server. And one of those big projects was our pirate island, an island so sadly neglected over here that it is just screaming for our attention. And that's where we're going to work today. We are going to truly transform the area and terraform it and make it just an absolutely spectacular place. And I'm very, very excited about working on that. Oh man, I'm just so inspired to work on this. We talked about it in our very first episode, and we have so many other projects we've worked on throughout the entire server. This is just one place that we never quite got to, and we're going to bring all sorts of beautiful life to this lifeless island. And I guess there is some life on the island. There's this sad, sad hole of cows. We're gonna free these cows, my friends. We're gonna free them. And then this over here, this this farm. And truly, I don't know what is going on, Sign Placer. This farm is a sad, sad state of my farming skills. And honestly, I've seen players join Minecraft day one and make better farms than this. So we're going to clear the slate. We're going to get rid of this today, and we're going to absolutely transform this place. So I'm very excited. I've actually blocked off the entire week to work on this project because it's going to be a big one. But before we get to any of that, we need to start restocking Cherry. And in our last episode, we tore down Mount Redstone, and I put a little competition to see who could guess how many red ropes we got out of Mount Redstone. And I finally have that number. I've done the calculations down here in these Scartech mines, and we had a total of 21,294 redstone dust contained in Mount Redstone. That seriously is a lot of redstone, and we're going to be able to make some awesome components with that for Cherry computers. And that is what we're going to do now, is kind of set that all up. I've been doing a lot of resource gathering because what I want to do is I want to stock Cherry once and for all so that it is just filling with the brim of products, and I want to lower the prices too so more hermits can partake in the services of Cherry, and I think that'll be cool. So the big components that we need to work on is, let's see, like comparators, observers, and dispensers. Dispensers is the big one, string. So we need to go buy out Impulse of as much string as possible. And oh, I just completely forgot. Scar. The winner of the competition to guess how many redstone pieces was in Mount Scar is the one, the only Mighty Owl. So congratulations to Mighty Owl. You got it exactly right. You were the first comment I saw with the exact total. And yeah, so we'll name some kind of creature here in Minecraft after you. And yeah, congratulations on that. And come on, of course it was an owl, right? They're super smart. They got the monocles and everything. So yeah, let's start getting some components built. I'm excited about this. Another good reason to have Corp back in the mix is the infusion of new diamonds into the economy. Is that I lost all of the string that I bought from Impulse a while back, and I just bought from Cub. So we're back here at Impulse's shop, and we're gonna need to buy a whole bunch of string. It's a good thing we got a whole lot of diamonds. Well, found that string box that I thought I lost, but I think we needed more anyway. So I'm glad we did stop off at Impulse and get some more supplies, but we are pretty much ready to go now. So we'll drop down these boxes, and this contains, you know, the cobblestone, the stone, and of course we have all of these chests just brimming with cobblestone and stone and things along those lines, ready to roll for all the different pieces. So I think what I'm going to start with is the dispensers. I think that is the most difficult one because you need to individually build each one of them because of the bow and arrow. So let's get to it. And end of super fast redstone creation mode, and we now have a shulker box for each and every redstone component, and that was quite a marathon of crafting. It took us a ton of resources in about 4 hours, which was actually less than I thought, and I enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun doing it. Listened to 2 podcasts, one Disney related and one comedian podcast, and nailed it. So whew, that was a lot, but we have all the components necessary. They're all contained in these shulker boxes here. But I'm looking at these right now and I'm thinking these are not on brand. We need to decorate these boxes. That's more like it. Those shulker boxes are now representing a very cherry red, but let's look inside of the boxes and see what we've got here. So an entire shulker box here of dispensers. And I'll say it right now, I'm never gonna make a single dispenser ever again in my life. That was painful. Half of the time was devoted towards dispensers. The other stuff was easy. That was just like brainless. This one, you gotta like meticulously place all the things in the wood. Huh, it was quite an effort. Anyway, moving on. So we got an entire box of redstone dust and a box of redstone blocks. And down here, we've got some comparators. Moving on to the observers. Look at all those observers. That's so satisfying, right? To see so many of them all nicely packed away. Got some redstone torches. Got a whole box of pistons. Mumbo would be happy to see that. He is my best piston customer. And then moving on to the repeaters and of course the droppers, the easiest of all to create. Oh, by the way, we don't have a single piece of cobblestone left. We used it all up. Actually, I should have carved most of this out in cobblestone instead of smooth stone because we still need some in case we need to restock or something because we are out. But anyway, let's pack this up and officially reopen Cherry. Oh, I am super hyped to open up this shop once again. So not only do we need to, get all the stock back in there, check prices, things along those lines, we need to set the display models up. And can we once and for all set up the Prodigy service? That's where I go to your base and, maintain and help you troubleshoot your redstone things. I would love that. We should totally get that all set up. By the way, this chest just has random materials in it. Oh gosh, I thought I heard a creeper. Do you hear that? Listen. Oh, it's Captain Etho burning in the sun. Oh, okay, never mind. Ooh, that scared me. Okay, I'm a little paranoid about the creepers, you can tell here. All right, so yeah, let's start packing these back up. 4 diamonds for 32. We might lower that just a little bit, but yeah, let's start restocking Cherry. As the sun rises over Cherry, we can officially reopen the shop, and I'm quite happy about this. Everything is fully restocked, so let the hermits know as they're working on redstone components that they can always come here and purchase anything they need. And if they need any redstone advice, warranty service, even maintenance, Cherry Care is always available upon request from one of our talented prodigies that we have here. So yeah, I'm very excited to see this place back up and operational. And I've been thinking about this. Would you guys like a cherry shirt? Should we make a cherry t-shirt? I think that would be kind of fun. I don't know. If nobody else wants it, I still might make one for myself. I think it would be kind of funny. Just have like a cherry t-shirt. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm really happy about this. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this portion of it. I've hid these supply boxes down here, so just put that back and we'll put those across there, all tucked away and nice. And I was kind of scared. I didn't know where to put those because I did put so much work into it. But yeah, it's really nice to finally be back here on the continent and have Cherry open to hopefully help the hermits with all of the redstone needs. But now it's time to get terraforming. I realized if we were to truly transform this area into something new and start our incredible series of episodes that are soon to come, we're going to need to properly set ourselves up for the future, and that is to make a real storage area. Deep into the secret pirate cave, I have created Shulker Hotel. That's right. We no longer have Shulker Mountain or Shulker Cliff or Shulker Cave, but Shulker Hotel. And this might be the ugliest storage room you've ever seen, but it'll work and it'll be practical for now until we make our storage room sailing boat. Now, up here we've got your granite andesite, glass, coral, and oak, looking super fancy, all tucked away. I love this. This makes me super happy. Look at this. Look at the wool. Got the wool up here. On this side, we've got our mass storage, right? We've got our stone all tucked away here. We've got our dirt in here. And we got our cobblestone. Look at the size of those cobblestone containers. And yeah, I delayed the video an extra day so I could get all of my resources packed away. And I mean, they were scattered everywhere throughout Hermitcraft. And yeah, I'm really happy about that. By the way, I put the statue book up there because I always lose it. It's nicely tucked away. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to... What in the world? I'm very excited to have a storage area now, somewhere where we can properly maintain all of our supplies instead of everywhere. So yeah, let's fly up into the air and get started. So our first order to terraform is get rid of everything on this island. So we need to clear out all the farms, the animals, everything, and then start planning everything out. So baseline ideas for it so far is I want to do a giant spire right here, and I want little houses tucked into it. Up here, this giant mound, I want this to be something cool. I just don't know what it is yet. It's going to come to me, but it'll come to me in time when we're starting to do the work. That's when the creative energies will start to flow. And yeah, so first task, get rid of this farm, and we'll no longer be an embarrassment of the server. That already looks 100 times better, and as you can see, we have some sheep and some cows in the boats, and these guys are our future. They are our future. We're going to send them into the sea to be safe from all of the construction that's going to take place on the islands, because, you know, I don't want to go out and go look for sheep and cows again. These were hard to get like almost a year ago now, or not really. Apparently I'm bad at counting. Still not a year, but like 7 months or something. Anyway, let's put these cows out into safety. And what I'm thinking about right now is just plain like inspirational thoughts, right? So I'm thinking about mountains. I'm looking up, you know, interesting terraform things around the world, you know, different rock formations, things like that that can help influence my mind and get it into the right track to start terraforming. And I think that's a really good way if you're trying to figure out how I'm going to transform a space, is to just immerse yourself into beautiful things, right? And that's what I've done with landscaping. So just looking at rocks and all these things and thinking, can this work? Can this not? Can I modify this design? Things like that. And when you're kind of stuck on a design, or you're really trying to figure out where to go with something, that's such a valuable thing. You know, get out a book, go online, look around, go out in the real world and just look at different things and see how they kind of blend together in real life. You know, rocks and how the dirt forms around it and erodes off the corners and how a tree spouts out of it. That is really, really helpful when it comes to trying to figure out how to terraform and stuff along those lines. So what I'm going to do is play around a little bit with some rocks and things like that here, and then I'll come back and I'll give you the master plan for this whole project. I'm stuck. Help me. What in the world? The sheep's got me by the teeth. Help. Freed from the rabid clutches of the blue sheep, I have marked out a few areas of interest that I want to start working on. And one of the big ones you'll notice is this strange dirt mound that reaches up over here. I'd like to do a giant archway, kind of themed towards the Pirates of the Caribbean, the original movie, as that entrance sequence comes in, as Johnny Depp comes in on that sinking ship. And I think this archway will look really, really cool. Now, let's take a quick land here on this dead old palm tree. And when you're doing arches, here's a couple of quick tips. Now, it's always good to do it in dirt first to kind of get yourself a baseline. And then remember that the base of the archway is always bigger than the top portion. It'll thin out as it goes, and then at its top point, it will arch downwards, and then you can either bring it back down to the ground or connect it to another object like we're going to do over here. So yeah, that's a little tip. Start out bigger, shrink it up, and then top it out, and then come down. And then of course, you know, you can make it a little bit thicker as you go. And yeah, I think that'll look really cool. Now these pieces over here, this are going to be spires, okay? So the idea with this whole thing from the original standpoint of concept was that we were going to create spires everywhere. Let's see, Black Sands Island, we didn't have enough resources to make a giant spire, so eventually we'll redo that island. But spires will be somewhat similar to this island over here, but we're going to have a whole bunch of them sticking out all over the place because these volcanic islands here are very unhospitable. That's why pirates have taken over, because nobody else wants to live here. So we have a lot of work to do, my friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this arch, and maybe we'll do it in super fast build mode. So hit it. end of super fast build mode, and we now have the skeleton structure of our archway complete. And that makes me really happy. It was looking very ugly for a very long time, but as I always say, you just gotta stick it through when you're working on something like this. Even when it looks just absolutely horrible, just try to keep going, and eventually you'll find something that you like within it. You might change it 10 times, but as long as you're persistent and confident in your abilities, you can make magic happen. So that's what I always say when it comes to building trees and stuff like that. Just a little bit of confidence in yourself and not be feared to tear it down and rebuild it, and tear it down maybe 5 times before you get it absolutely perfect. And it's far from perfect, man, mind you. It is far from perfect. So what we need to do now is we need to start adding some detail to it, right? We'll start adding a little bit of hardened clay, similar to the way we've designed the mountain here. And of course, we'll add some plants on top of it, some grass, some, leaves hanging down, and palm trees, and potentially even a waterfall flowing off the side. And I think that'll really help frame it up a little bit better and kind of fix some of the areas that still need work. And this whole thing is I'm happy with it, because it kind of ties the main island with the volcano. And that's kind of the main purpose of it, was to do that. And I think it really does kind of tie the two areas together. And I think that's looking really nice. There are so many other places on this mountain that I want to jump into and start working on. But I think what I want to do is actually finish off the arch instead of go to something else. So let me go get some supplies and we'll start adding those details. I can't tell you guys how happy I am to have a somewhat functionable storage room here. And I misplaced my brown... Wait, there's brown terracotta. Beautiful. But yeah, this place is absolutely fantastic. It is helping me stay organized and make this project go a little bit more smoothly. That's really great to have, finally. So what do we need here? We just need some oak leaves like that. So we'll take that shulker box out, and then we are going to need just some standard oak. Beautiful. We'll take that and we'll get to work. I've set myself up a temporary shulker base here on Shulker Mountain, but I promise you, I will clean this up after I'm done. We will not get to how we were before. So I have all of the little details in my inventory that we can now transform this little arch into something beautiful. So we'll start, of course, with a little bit of dirt. We'll get some of that installed. And then in certain places, we're going to highlight that with brown terracotta and gray terracotta. Think of it slightly as the design we used over at the landscaping shop. See the way we added some of the brown terracotta and the gray terracotta into the mountain here? I think that really highlights cliff faces and gives it a little bit of a shadow to it to add a little bit more dimensionality. And that's what I like to do with our arch. But keeping in mind, this isn't a lush fantasy forest. This is out in the oceans, right? So things are going to be a little bit more battered out here. So think of it as like most of the dirt's been eroded off the sides, but we can still add it and hopefully do it in a tasteful, nice way that really fits in with the design. So let's get going with that. And I just want to say, landscaping is like my true passion. It's been a while since we did anything too much lately, and getting back into it has just had a smile on my face this entire time. I've mentioned a few times that I've been like dealing with some like YouTube stuff, and this just takes that stress like right away, which that has finally concluded, and it's like a weight off of my shoulders. And it's really, really nice. I was in a network and I'm outside of that network now. I got it all done, and yeah, it's really nice to get that all done and feel like we can start a new path, and all this good stuff will happen from that. So I'm really, really pleased with that. It took a long time for me to get that done, but it's done, and that makes me happy. Another thing is that I got my wheelchair back after it was smashed by Delta last time I flew. And it took, 2.5 something months or something along those lines, but it's fixed. It takes a long time to get used to a new wheelchair, at least for me. When I'm in a wheelchair, and when you get a new one, and think of it this way, you're strapped into something for like 12 hours a day, right? Where you basically can't move, and those muscles are pulling and this, that, and the other thing. And when you change chairs, all of a sudden you're in new positions, and your body's not used to those new positions, and it can become really sore. So yeah, kind of been dealing with that. It's one reason why this video has once again sadly been delayed a little bit. But yeah, we're rolling again. I think a lot of the little stresses we've been dealing with are starting to pass, and we have so many fun and exciting things planned to do on the channel in the next couple of months. And man, I'm excited. We got Mindfair coming up. I got some new series coming, along with some really fun Hermitcraft episodes that we're starting now that we're back here on Pirate Island. And man, I'm excited about the future, and hopefully you guys are too. And yeah, so I'm going to continue to lay down the dirt a little bit more and get ourselves a baseline design, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and I think I've got a couple ideas on how I want to do the dirt on this particular build. So down below we have the hardened clay, and it's been kind of tucked in under here, and I think this way it gives it a little bit more depth, whereas before I was thinking I would kind of combine it like this, but that's like a connected texture, and I'm not a big fan of that. I like having separation between blocks. I think it gives it way more depth. So we have the brown and we have the gray here. Now down on this section over here, I'm thinking about actually having it overlapping the stone, whereas on this side it's the opposite. I think it kind of gives it a hybrid of the two different designs that we've done in the past for like cliff faces. And I think this will give the whole thing an extra bit of interest, right? There's multiple layers of dirt kind of interacting with the way it interacts with the elements, right? In this little section, it's kind of hanging over there. It's been a little bit more battered by the storms and the winds and stuff along those lines. So I think that'll be really cool. So like I said, we'll kind of have it hanging down here. Over there, it's kind of eroded off the hill. And yeah, I think that's our plan. So my friends, let's hit super fast build mode and add a little detail. Super fast build mode, and we've got the details installed and ready to go on our arch, and I'm loving it. I'm loving this little design that we've created here together, and this entire project here can be then translated throughout the entire island. So we'll use this as a base of inspiration and a color palette really for all the other terraforming we're going to do around here. And there are definitely some things that I would have done different. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. There we go. Almost had a brief appearance of Aquascar there. But like I said, learn from my mistakes. So one thing I would have done a little bit different, I wish I could get a little lower, maybe this will help, is if I would have made this a little bit skinnier here and a little bit thicker down at the bottom. So this portion right here would connect more with the volcano than it does, because you think of it like a tree, right? The top of the tree is much skinnier than the base of the tree. It's, you know, you can't have it being the opposite, you know, gravity's just going to crush you. So that's why I would have done that just a little bit different to make it a little bit more realistic. But other than that, I like it. And then we swoop down to the bottom here. I really want to make, if I can get out of the water there, I really want to make a coral reef down here. So that'll be something really fun that we could do on Twitch. So make sure you follow me on Twitch and Twitter to be notified when I go live for something along those lines. But anyway, we have more details to install here, and that is the sand. So we need to wrap sand all the way around the base of the arch on both ends, and add just a little bit more detail in these sections right here. They are still a little blank and a little bit boring. And yeah, we're making some super progress. So like I said, let me get some sand and let's wrap this up. Adding the sand as we just completed really does tie those two things together, whereas now the arch really feels a part of the volcano and the main island, which eventually, oh man, I'm excited about the main island now that we've got this established. We can take this design, we can spread it across here with our own unique designs. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Oh man, I'm very excited. So this area down here, okay, so in this little spot here, this is where I'd love to do the coral reef. I've started to kind of at least get the sand in place, right? So I got rid of all the diorite and the granite and all the things that were here originally, replaced mixed it with sand. And with that, we can come in and start placing a little bit of coral and things along those lines. And like I said, we'll probably do that on stream. And yeah, I'm happy with this. It took a little while to get everything in place, but I really enjoyed it. And that's the fun of landscaping, right? It's like painting or something. It's just kind of fun to like experiment a little bit, and hopefully you enjoyed the super fast build modes. And yeah, got a lot of fun things to come here at our pirate island. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the videos. And if you believe the videos deserve a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.